Hi there everybody, it's Heather from CysterWigs and welcome to the second installment of Have I Got Nudes for you. And yes, I love bad puns, so if you're groaning, my mission is accomplished. But hopefully you will stick around. I promise I will not use too many dad jokes, depending on your definition of too many. This is an eyeshadow review. So I've already got my base on and everything. This is not necessarily a tutorial, though I'll show you very quickly how I got a look. By the way, if you want that footage to go a little bit slower, you can adjust the playback controls in YouTube. So I encourage you to play it at half speed if you need to see it a little bit slower. The names of all of the eyeshadow palettes that should be scrolling over here somewhere. I'll give it a second so you can kind of check it out. I wrote all their names in here on little pieces of yellow paper, and I'm going to sort of randomly pull some. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw one, and then I will talk about that. I will review that palette, and then I'll show you a look. Blending it with 3 different wigs, because you know, I'm a wig lady. So I'm gonna show you this one, which is the New Wave by TressAllure in their Sunset Glow. This one, which is mine, which is my Ambrose in Harlow Blonde. And I'm gonna show you a prototype of one I'm working on for maybe early next year. And we're calling this one Ainsley. And I hope you like the color. I really, really like it too. And this one it is meant to look similar to some of the more popular brunette shades we have in the store, though it's not a direct copy of any of them. It just gets you close. The reason why I want to show you a blonde, a brunette, and a red is because that, you know, I have 2 tests for a nude eyeshadow. A really good nude eyeshadow should be able to be worn at work. So it should be something that's easy to do and doesn't look garish. It will look nice, chic, and professional, and give you some versatility in there. The second test is that it should literally work with everything, which is why I'm going to show it with 3 different hair colors on. So that way you can kind of see, does that pass that test? Does it work with everything? And just so you know, my base makeup is the same in every single installment of this video. Again, I won't make this intro so long in future installments. But if you look at the description, I lay out what I use as a base in every single one of these videos. And this is the one we're gonna be doing today. The NARS Suede. All right, let me go grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, so you may have seen on this little piece of paper that I put a little asterisk and that my handwriting is atrocious and really loopy because I have carpal tunnel. But whatever, if you can read that nonsense scribble, then you will see that there's a little sort of asterisk up there. And that's because this is a first impressions. I have not swatched this yet, so I'm gonna swatch it right here in front of you. This is that kit. It's got that same really, really nice matte finish that all of NARS's makeup seems to come with. It's got a really great ergonomic feel to it. You can really tell that this is a line that's made for makeup artists and not just the general public, though anybody can buy it. It just has a really sleek feel, reminds me a bit of like Apple computers and how minimalistic it is. You do get a nice mirror in here and it's functional. It does say NARS backwards on it, which kind of gets in the way a little bit. But the mirror itself has a beautiful little bevel on it. That's kind of fun. Here is the color palette. It consists of 6 different colors. You can see that the overall tone is kind of like a taupey, sort of plummy concoction. So the real test, I think, for this palette is going to be, is this going to be so dark on my light skin that it will look like too much for work? Because it's got to pass that as test number 1. This palette, the Suede palette, which is part of their Voyageur Eyeshadow Palette collection. I have terrible French pronunciation. I should have my husband come and pronounce it. He has immaculate French enunciation.
Heureusement, je parle français comme un indigène. Non, ce n'est pas vrai. Mon prononciation est formidable, mais après beaucoup d'années sans pratique, je suis incapable de conjuguer un verbe pour sauver ma vie.
It's $38. You get 6 colors. We've got some light tone over here. We've got lots of mid-tone options here. So lots of transition shade possibilities with this palette and a really, really dark color that is probably meant to be a liner. I would imagine that's probably supposed to be a primer, a liner, you get the rest. So we've got Soleil, which is a shimmering gold bronze color. Oh, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of some of these colors so badly. Jamira, I want to say this one's called. Hopefully I got that right. And this is a shimmering golden pink color, so, you know, it's supposed to be like a rose gold, I imagine. These apply like butter so far. I'm very impressed with the consistency of these. And I've been applying a lot of product to my finger and using quite a bit of pressure on here, and I haven't had any fallout at all yet. So very creamy application so far. Can you see the difference between those two colors? Hopefully that's working. The next one's called Condessa, and it is a shimmering pink brown. So it's this one up here in the corner. Really pretty, by the way. Again, this color is called Condessa. No fallout at all. Look how much pressure I'm applying, particularly this one. No fallout. You saw that Color Pop palette from last week and how dusty that was. Well, this is basically doing the exact opposite of that. So this is sort of a matte with the pinpoint sequin glitter in it, if you're familiar with that. Seems to be kind of popular. This one down here is called Deep Chic, and it is a matte soft gray brown. Hello. See, I think sometimes the mattes are where you really find the weaknesses of an eyeshadow palette, because mattes tend to be so dry and dusty. And yes, this is a little bit drier. In fact, I might double dip and kind of draw that out a little bit for you, since my arm gets kind of wide there. But really nice consistency, really nice coverage, not a ton of dust. The next one is Stilt House, which is a shimmering rose gold, which is this one in the center here. Very warm looking palette so far. I'm gonna double dip a little bit. Very, very pale on me. It's very, like a little peachier version of my natural skin tone. Is this the real life or is this just fantasy? I'll let you decide. News 11. The last one is called Graffiti right here, and this is a dark matte brown. So by looking at the swatches, which I'll try to put on the side of the screen in the still shot too that I just took, these are all pretty dark. I'm gonna have to be really, really light-handed. I mean, this one's very close to my own skin tone, but this whole palette to me, just on a first impression, looks like it's going to work a lot better on somebody, honestly, who has like a medium to dark skin tone. Olive skin tones might actually be able to pull this off, even though it's a little bit warm. With my skin tone, these are gonna be very dark, so it's going to be interesting to see what I can come up with. And I have not planned this look out in advance, so I'm just gonna sort of piece it together as I go along. You want blending brushes. Blending brushes are a really good friend, particularly if you have hooded eyes, or you have crow's feet like I do or something like that, and you're trying to like blur and mystify people who won't be able to guess your age. Blending brushes are the way to go. They deposit things in a very diffuse fashion. But I mean, I have a little collection here of just blender brushes because I think that they're so nice for applying particularly really dramatic colors. You don't want to deposit too heavily. Sometimes you do. Like sometimes if it's a really phenomenal duochrome, sometimes you literally just want to slap that on with your finger. But if you're going for natural, brushes are your best friend here. In this case, because these colors are so dark, I want to go with kind of big, diffuse, sort of fluffy brushes. So, and at least a couple that are smaller. As the colors get darker, the general rule of thumb is you want the brush heads to get smaller. So that way you can really concentrate where you're applying. So in this case, this one's kind of domed at the end. This is the Mini Booster by Sonia G. It's a natural fiber, which is really great if you have aging eyes. This is a classic crease. Again, it's Sonia G, the Sky set, which is great if you have hooded eyes. The brush heads are a little bit smaller than this red set here. And this is the Crease Pro, also a Sonia G brush. And I might break out some others if I want to, depending on what colors I want to run with. But again, you can see this one's a little bit pointed at the ends. These are domed. The domed ones give this really light, diffuse sort of application. The ones with the sort of pointed ends, they help deposit in a really specific area, hint, hint, like your crease. I even have some bullet crease brushes if I really want to get detailed with it, but I don't know yet. I have to see where the spirit takes me.
I'm staring through your window, looking up at the stars, up at the stars. I'm caught inside a loop where I can get to your heart, get to your heart. Ooh, you're letting your fears take hold, let them take control, and it's making me crazy. If you could only look at me, you know how I feel, know how I feel. Oh, see how much I want it, see how bad I need it. You gotta look into my eyes. That's how much I want it, that's how bad I need it. You've gotta look into my eyes. Think twice before you let me go. My eyes are mirrors of my soul. See how much I want it, see how bad I need it. You've gotta look into my eyes. Look into, look into, look into, look into, look into, look into, look into my eyes. Look into, look into, look into, look into, look into, look into, look into my eyes. I'm dancing on the tables, trying my best to forget, best to forget. Ooh, then no one coming through the door is your silhouette, your silhouette. Oh, I'm in a wonderland. I'm in a wonderland. I'm in a wonderland.
So I'm done. I didn't put any lashes on or anything like that. I just sort of curled my lashes and put some mascara on them. I used this color here, Graffiti, as the liner under my eyes and above. I also took a little bit of that up into my crease, which is a great thing to do if you have hooded eyes, so that way you can get it right there and angle it up towards your eyebrow a little bit. So, I mean, I almost feel like I'm cheating because, like I mentioned, I have quite a bit of real estate up here to play with. But you can kind of see that adds a little bit of depth, you know, especially by pairing it with the light eyelid. So let's talk about the palette, what I thought of it while I was playing around with it. You can see I sort of shied away from some of the colors. I didn't really do much with the Soleil color up here in the corner. I just knew that was going to be really, really warm. I just thought that for my face, this is mostly transition shades, with this being the liner that I used. This is okay, but honestly, I like a little bit of a lighter color than even this to go on my eyelid, so that way it adds that depth and that contrast between my crease and the bottom, but it does give a really nice soft effect. I think this look utilized every color in here with the exception of the Soleil, and that's just because I sort of avoided it. Can you get a natural, work-appropriate look from this palette? I think so. You know, I went a little bronzer heavy today, but I mean, the eyeshadow in and of itself is really nice and soft. The colors are easy to play with, though I will say that I think that this palette is really going to work better for somebody who has slightly darker skin. Medium toned skin would probably do really well with this palette. I have really light skin, and so, you know, this works. It's got beautiful colors that will work for basically every skin tone except for maybe the very darkest. And that's just, it's not gonna pop on really dark skin. Again, probably better for medium skin tones. So I would recommend it. I think it applies well. There's not a lot of dust or kickback. I had a lot of fun. It blended really beautifully. When I got that color up my crease, it blended out really nicely. Part of that's the brushes, part of it's the technique, but if the product stinks, that won't go down so easily. So this actually is a really, really nice eyeshadow palette, and for this price, frankly, it should be. This is the, sorry, my sideburns are a little bit darker than the root color on this. This is my Harlow Blonde on Ambrose. I designed this color because I know that in our help desk we get a lot of requests for folks who want a really nice light blonde that isn't going to be gray or too ashy but won't be yellow or too gold, and they also want something that's got kind of a lighter root color than most rooted blondes tend to come with. Really beautiful color. So I would say this is kind of a cool color overall, even, you know, until you look at the roots. So does this eye makeup look crazy with blondes? think it goes nice. I think it goes pretty well. So past that test so far, let's move on to the second one. I'm so incredibly stoked by how comfortable this prototype is. I can't wait to make this. I want all of my wigs to be comfortable. I also, you know, they all have kind of basic caps, and this one's no exception. This one's the Ainsley again. It has permatease in the top, but a really light amount, which is an improvement over similar wigs to this. It's a very light amount of permatease. I think it has a really nice density, and it's super comfy on me. So I'm really stoked to bring this to you guys probably at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. I don't know about you, but I actually think that this eyeshadow coloration looks way better with the brunette color than the blonde. I'll leave you guys to be the judges of that. Let me know in the comments. But to my mind, this really sings with the slightly darker hair color. That might just be my eyebrows kind of throwing it off because they're kind of like a neutral brown color. But yeah, I think that goes really nicely. Let's move on to the more challenging one, the beautiful red I have here in my hands. This is New Wave. It has a lace front and a pre-cut bang, so it's kind of ritzy. This is a cute wig. It's a little tighter than the other two, because I mean, obviously when I design my wigs, I make them so they fit me comfortably. But this is very nice. And again, I love this color. Now the real question is, does it go with this eye makeup? I think so. I think the only one that was a little iffy was the blonde, but it still looked nice with that too. So I think that this particular eyeshadow palette passes both tests. So I can definitely recommend this one if you're in the market for a really nice, work appropriate, sort of rosy gold kind of palette. If you have any questions about any of the new stuff, if we're talking about the prototype, kind of hold on to your questions for a little bit there, because I'm going to trickle out that information as we progress in the research and development phase. That's literally just a prototype. But we're bringing new stuff to you all the time at this point because, I don't know, I have a lot of fun creating wigs. I know a lot of you have been in that situation because a lot of you let me know. But tell me if you've had this experience before as a wig wearer. It's basically like you fall in love with the color, and then you fall in love with the style. They don't make that style in that color. It's oh God, that's like, oh, it's so painful because you'd be like, this is perfect. Oh my God, this style is perfect. And then, wah, 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 wah. So that's basically what this is for me. This is me creating wigs that, you know, are either too small for me to wear comfortably and making them in a Heather-friendly cap size, or it's me taking wigs where I'm like, I love this, but I hate the permatease. Let's keep the permatease, but make it less permatease. Or maybe something where, you know, again, I love this style, I love this color, let's make it happen. So we're working on that right now. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. And I want to thank everybody who is supporting us by buying our Felix and our Ambrose styles and any of the custom colors that we come up with. We also sell other name brand products from other brands like this TressAllure. So if you're interested in learning more about New Wave, check out our website, which is CysterWigs.com. I'm Heather, I'm from CysterWigs. This has been the NARS Suede palette. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.